What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Boston's Banter, where the sports are wicked and the banter is Pissah. I'm your host, Frank the Bank. With me, as always, is Keith LaCava. What's going on, Alex Brovechkin?
Not much, Ray Lee Broda.
I like that one. I like that one.
Goodfellas, baby.
I love it. Yeah, God rest his soul. You know what I
sir.
mean? Episode 20. I can't believe it. It's been great.
Episode 20, Frankie.
It's
man,
crazy, right?
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. We did our first giveaway last week. We're going to do another one next week, but congrats to our winner of the hoodie. So that was
Kyle Henderson,
Kyle,
man.
yeah.
I think it's funny, man. Everybody, was predicting, within the 200s, 300s for Drake May. Kyle says 42, and I'm like, dude, just for jinxing it, you shouldn't even win it. But, man,
That's crazy.
And Drake May had 23, so congrats, Kyle, man. That was a good prediction.
He got hurt, obviously, if he didn't watch the game. So I was just like, that's just crazy.
Man, that was crazy.
Yeah, congratulations. Let's jump right into the Wicked Pissah news. And what do you got for me?
All right, starting off Wicked Pissah news like always with the Bruins update. So, Frankie, since our last show, they were 1-2. They lost to the Predators 4-0 last Tuesday, and then lost to the Stars 5-2 last Thursday, followed by a 4-3 overtime win versus the Maple Leafs in the Garden this past Saturday, bringing their record to 4-1 on the season.
Yeah, it's been a slow start.
It has.
They've been pretty hot in the regular season the last 3 or 4 years, I feel like, but they do have a couple overtime wins, which last year that was a problem for them. They lost a lot of games in overtime. So, I mean, I guess that's the only bright spot there. There is like 5 or 6 teams that are tied with the same amount of points right now. So we're in the mix, but I mean, we definitely got to pick it up. So
those last 3 games, Swayman was in the net for all 3 of them, and he's 3-3-1 on the season so far.
Yeah.
So let's get rid of the ice in the Garden. Let's bring on the parquet. We'll bring up the Celtics right now. Last week, Frankie, we had the opening night ceremony. They dropped the Banner 18 against the Knicks and everything. So I want to get into that real quick. So to start off, I'm going to say the Celtics are currently 4-0 to start the season. They've won their last 4 games. Now, Frankie, this game against the Knicks, they won 132-109. Bro, so we all know what happened in that game. They tied the NBA record for three-pointers made. And then they went to go try and break the record, obviously. I mean, they were killing the Knicks, but they wanted to get that.
Destroying them.
So they shot 0 for 13 trying to break their record. Actually, I got a clip of them.
Let it rain! Rain dance! Raindrops!
That's what it looked like at the end of that game.
So, like Frankie said, that's kind of what it looked like. They were just throwing them up. Obviously, that was Philip Seymour Hoffman in the movie Along
God
Came
rest his soul also.
Yes, you're right. But yeah, Frankie, they're looking pretty good, man. So like I said, they beat the Knicks last Tuesday, 132-109. Then this past Saturday, they beat the Pistons, 124-118.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, actually, they played the Wizards as well. They beat them 122-102.
Yep.
And then just last night against the Bucks, brother, 119-108. But listen to this, bro. So Jaylen Brown, 30 points. He was 0 for 4 on three-pointers. Jason Tatum, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 1 for 8 on three-pointers.
Yep.
Let's talk about Peyton
Pritchard,
bro.
off the bench.
28 points, 8 for 12 three-pointers. That guy is a dog, man.
He tied the NBA record for a bench player coming into the game and hitting that many threes.
Dude,
he tied the record.
Absolute dog, bro.
He killed
so
it.
I'm glad we still got him and retained him, man.
They've been doing great. And again, going back to the first game against the Knicks, they had tied the record with almost 9 minutes left in the game. And they were bringing in subs and they were shooting up Philip Seymour Hoffman style.
But next game is at the Pacers tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. But Frankie, so let's move over to the big news in the sports world going on this week, and that's the World Series. You got some news for me.
Yeah, 3-0 Yankees.
Yeah.
Dodgers.
I was gonna say you better fix that, man. The Yankees are down.
There's only
3-0.
2 baseball teams that I love: the Red Sox and whoever's beating the Yankees.
Yes,
Those
sir.
are my
Give me
2
nuts to that.
favorite
Yes,
teams.
sir. I like
All right,
that.
so Dodgers are killing it. It was kind of crazy though. Like the Shohei dislocated his shoulder,
right,
and then played the next day, which was crazy.
I know.
Some other stats,
hungry,
real
man.
quick. Freddie Freeman, the first walk-off Grand Slam in World Series history. I mean, baseball's been around a long time.
Yes,
We've
it
talked
has.
about it since the 1800s.
Right.
So first one ever to walk off a game.
The active hits leader of the MLB we've talked about as well.
Active hits leader, Freddie
Yes,
Freeman.
sir.
We've talked about him. So that was sick. He's hit a few other home runs since then. He's been tearing it up.
Yes,
right
sir.
now, he's the MVP, in my opinion. Aaron
Absolutely.
Judge on the other side. Okay.
Where is he?
He is 1 for 12 in the World Series with 7 strikeouts. Okay.
Where is he?
In the postseason as a whole, 6 hits, 43 outs. Okay. 20 strikeouts and 2 double plays grounded into out of those outs. So it's literally insane. He's disappeared. He's batting a clean, crisp 140 on the postseason. I
love it.
So, yeah, I think it's amazing.
I love it.
But we kind of said it before. We thought the Dodgers were going to take this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think they might sweep the way they just, you know, they took the wind right out of their sails.
So what's the next game tonight in the Bronx at 8 o'clock, right,
yeah,
Frankie?
that's it.
Let's see what happens. Alrighty, so we're going to be moving over to some NFL news, my brother.
A lot of news today.
A lot of, especially some breaking news today, which we'll get into. But to start off, we're going to start with Broncos wide receiver Josh Reynolds. He was actually shot twice this past Friday,
Unbelievable,
Frankie.
Man.
So Reynolds and a few of his friends were leaving a strip club in the early morning hours this past Friday when the shooting occurred.
Yep.
Reynolds suffered gunshot wounds to his left arm, and then, Frankie, they said minor injuries, but one of the wounds was to the back of his head.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like,
must have just
minor
skimmed him
injuries, and that's right.
Must have, because that's just scary.
That is scary. So I guess he was a little shaken up. He's actually back with the Broncos, but he's not playing right now. Obviously, he's tending to those injuries and everything. But we saw a lot of trades today, actually, but I'm going to go from a trade last week that we didn't get to announce, and that was the Titans trading wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins to the Kansas City Chiefs for a 2025 conditional 5th-round pick that can eventually possibly turn into a 4th.
Yeah, that was a good trade for them. They've been banged up left and right at wide receiver.
Oh, they needed the help there. And, Hopkins, he was starting off slow with the Titans, only had 15 catches for 173 yards, 1 touchdown so far this season.
Well, Will Levis is throwing him the ball for most of the games this season.
Complete scrub. But, it's like Hopkins, man, he just signed that free agent deal last offseason. I believe it was like 2 years, $26 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Now he goes over to Kansas City where he actually has a good passer throwing to him because, let's face it, man, like you said, Will Levis. And then last year, who did he have thrown to him beginning of the season with the Titans? I believe it was Ryan Tannehill.
I don't even know. Yeah.
He actually suited up for the game against the Raiders this past week. He only had 2 catches for 29 yards, but hey, working him in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So over to some injuries, and we had a lot of them. Actually, we had some breaking news today. So Stephon Diggs, wide receiver for the Houston Texans, he's going to be missing the rest of the season with a torn ACL. Started off this past Sunday, we saw him kind of leave the game with a non-contact injury.
Non-contact's the worst. You already know when it's non-contact.
Right, but he was walking under his own power. It actually didn't look too bad. They were going to look into it. He didn't return, and obviously we know why. Torn ACL, so he's out for the season. He's stopping the season with 47 catches for 496 yards, 3 touchdowns, and thankfully the Texans got Nico Collins coming back next week.
Yep.
Now we'll move over to another injury, and that's Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers. He already got hurt once this year. Now he's hurt again. Packers quarterback Jordan Love suffered a groin injury in the Packers' 30-27 win over the Jaguars this past week. He had 196 yards and an interception before the injury. And Frankie, man, now it was first the knee injury. Now this, man, it's he's getting banged up.
He's getting banged up for me. I started him, of course, this week over Daniels. Last week Daniels got hurt. This week, Jordan Love got hurt for me. So it's like, what can I do at this point?
Right, dude. And I mean, it sucks too for the Packers because, man, the NFC North is very competitive this year. I'm going to break down their numbers, bro.
Is.
Lions sit at 6-1. Packers are 6-2. Vikings, they lost their last 2. They're 5-2. And the Bears, even I know they're 4-3, but they're starting to get a little resurgence.
They're right there. I mean, that's a tight division right now.
All right, absolutely, bro. Moving over to some more injuries, man. It's just crazy. This week was filled with injuries. Christian Kirk of the Jaguars, man. He suffered a broken collarbone. He's going to be missing the rest of the season as well.
He was in a lot of trade talks too.
He was. Yeah, it ain't happening no more.
Nope.
And from injuries to benchings, bro. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. This I benched him in my fantasy league this week, and I'm glad I did.
We've talked about him a few times.
So the Colts are benching Anthony Richardson for Joe Flacco. It was only a matter of time. The guy has the league worst completion percentage at 44.4.
By far, too.
You know what I mean, bro? 958 yards, 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions to go with also 5 fumbles.
I don't get it. He took himself out of the game because he was tired on 3rd down. He just said, take me out. I've never once seen a quarterback do that. Not ever.
And the teammates are actually holding him accountable for that because they are saying you can't really set the tone as the quarterback when you're taking breaks on plays, bro. He
literally was like, take me out.
And he said to the reporters, they go, what happened with that? He goes, I'm not going to lie. I was just tired. Dude, you are, and mind you too, I knew it was a problem when he was in the top 5 in fantasy quarterback discussion in this past offseason.
I mean, he shows signs like he's got a strong arm, he's fast, he's strong, but his accuracy is god awful. We've talked about that a few times.
And he seems very fragile.
Yeah, I mean, he's been injured for sure. So
we got a trade, bro. This was a very big trade. Breaking news for the Panthers and the Ravens today. The Panthers have traded Deontay Johnson to the Ravens for a 5th-round pick, bro. And he was just traded to the Panthers this past offseason from the Steelers.
Yeah. It goes back to the same division.
You know what I mean, bro? So, okay, cool,
Gotta love it.
But even with, the Panthers being so bad, he was showing some signs of life within that offense. 30 catches for 357 yards, 3 touchdowns, Frankie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great trade for the Ravens.
Right. No, it is. They needed that bona fide
a fifth-round pick?
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
didn't they get a sixth-round back, too?
They did. That's right.
So it's like they got a pick back, and so it's really, I mean, what are they doing? Are they trading a round up? I mean, that's crazy to get Deontay Johnson.
Dude,
that man's good.
And think about it, too. They got Zay Flowers over there, but obviously now that you got a piece to complement him, it's going to get one of those guys more open.
Their offense is stacked now, if you think of it. They have two really good tight ends. They have two great receivers. I mean, and Bateman's not a bad third receiver either.
He's not at all,
right?
man.
They have Derrick Henry, the league rushing leader. Like, I mean, what else? You know what I mean? Like, what else you need?
That's right.
They better
Frankie.
when Lamar Jackson's unbelievable.
Well, I'm telling you right now, we even picked them to go to the Super Bowl in the offseason, and now with this acquisition, it's that pick looks like it's going to be more likely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Frankie, lastly, and this really wasn't an injury or a trade, but we got to talk about the Washington Commanders against the Chicago Bears this past Sunday, bro.
That was unbelievable.
Now, me and you, we both picked the Commanders to win that game.
Yes, we did.
And it didn't look likely within the last few seconds. So, after falling behind 15-12 to the Bears with 23 seconds left, obviously, the Commanders, they needed a miracle in the form of a Hail Mary, and how about we just show you it?
It's hurting more now. Comes down to one last play, and it's going to be getting longer by the second. You're all the way back at the 30-yard line. Now you can step into it. Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line, and the ball is caught! Caught! It's a miracle! It's Noah Brown! Oh, my goodness! This town is going crazy. It's a madhouse in Landover, Maryland. He did it.
Yeah, so that was pretty crazy.
Unbelievable.
Let's be real here, Frankie. I mean, for him, just the fact for him to throw it that far.
65 yards in the air.
Dude, it literally didn't stop. It made it all the way to the end zone.
All the way to the end zone. I got tipped, and someone's standing there in the background by himself.
It got tipped to Noah Brown, which was crazy, 52 yards or something like that. But, Frankie, how about we talk about a guy on Chicago who made a complete fool of himself? And let's play the clip right now.
It's the bonehead play of the week.
Oh, yeah. Let's play that clip. That's Tyreek Stevenson of the Bears. Look at him, man, just taunting the fans.
He's taunting the fans.
And if you look in the front row, man, some of the Bears fans were pointing to him like, hey, turn around.
Get in the play.
And I believe he was the one who actually tipped the pass.
He probably did. That's
so
karma right there.
That guy right there, I heard fans saying that, he should be benched for the next few weeks without pay. And I'm not going to lie, man. Yeah, you definitely made a fool of us. You don't stop playing until it's all zeros on the clock, bro.
That was wild. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was absolutely wild.
Yes, sir.
And that's all we got for Wicked Pissah News. Why don't we jump right into Foxborough Focus? What do you got for me, Keith?
So Foxborough Focus this week. Before we get into this past week against the Jets, the Patriots made a trade. The Patriots trade linebacker Josh Uche to the Chiefs for a 2026 sixth-round pick. I'm going to say that again. A 2026 sixth-round pick. Frankie, unfreaking believable.
I don't get it.
Why do they sell so low with star players on the team? Okay, I get it. Josh Uche, he's only had 2 sacks in the season this year. He's only 2 years removed from an 11.5 sack season. Mind you, he just re-signed with us, so the money's not big.
The money's not bad. Yeah, the money wasn't bad.
And bro, honestly, they're setting the Chiefs up because they've needed a pass rusher, and now you're giving them Josh Uche. Like I said, not in crazy numbers, but he's a good pass rusher.
I mean, unless they just expected him not to re-sign with us. I mean, he's going to be unrestricted free agent after the season, but I just thought that was crazy. It's basically for nothing. That's a couple years from now. Like, right. What are we even thinking about? Like,
dude, he showed his loyalty this past offseason too, re-signing with us, considering we suck. Let's be real. He could have signed with a contender, bro.
Oh, I agree. He's on a contender now.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's a fact. They made 2 good trades this week.
They did.
Their defense is already nasty.
Right.
And now they got Hopkins on offense, and they got Uche on defense on top of everything else. Like, I mean, they're right up there with the Ravens. It's going to be the Ravens versus KC in the AFC Championship, most likely.
Right? I definitely agree with Frankie on that one. But let's go back real quick, Frankie. A few years ago, we traded our star cornerback, Stephon Gilmore, for the following year's 6th-round pick as well to the Panthers. It's like he's 2 years removed from a defensive MVP season.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? I don't get it. Elliot Wolf, I don't know what you're doing there, brother, but I'm going to tell you right now, you keep it up, you're going to be canned too.
It's been, I don't know. It's been real bad. I don't like the way the season's gone. I don't like that they even started Drake May. We've talked about that. Now he got hurt already.
Concussed, bro.
You know what I mean? Like
he was looking good.
That's why the hoodie was won by such a low amount, because he got concussed.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. It's just bad decision after bad decision recently. I feel like, I don't know why.
No, absolutely, Frankie. I agree. Week 8 recap. The Patriots beat the Jets 25-22, bringing their record to 2-6. And Frankie, Real quick, dude, I'm sure all Jets fans feel like this guy.
We suck again.
So yeah, Frankie, let's bring up the AFC East standings real quick because this is pretty interesting. The Bills sit at 6-2. After the Bills, the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Jets all only have 2 wins. We've only played the Dolphins once, and we've already played the Jets twice. I'm not saying, mind you, I'm not saying I'm banking on us to make the playoffs, but that's pretty interesting, bro.
Yeah, we were both way off on the predictions. You said Miami, I said the Jets, and Vegas had the Bills. And then they swapped places. The Jets actually jumped the Bills at like the last preseason game. But the Bills, that look like they're pretty strong. They made a good trade, for Amari Cooper. We talked about that.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And, it's just been the AFC East is just wild right now. I know Tua got hurt and stuff, but.
The Bills have the same amount of wins as all 3 of us do. The combined, Patriots, the Jets, and the Dolphins. But, yeah, like I said, the Patriots beat the Jets. And we actually have some highlights this week. Going forward, we're going to actually start showing you guys some highlights. So here they are.
Drake May, rookie quarterback for the Patriots, dropping back to pass. But another aspect of his game is he can run. And I'm telling you right now, he can run pretty good. Look at him tight roping for a 17-yard touchdown run. He would suffer a concussion later on in the game and unfortunately not return where Jacoby Brissett took over. After a few pass interference calls, the Jets were on the 2-yard line and Aaron Rodgers found his tight end Tyler Conklin for the touchdown. Bring the score to 7-6. They would miss the PAT. Start of the second, the Pats are up 7-6. And this time from the 1-yard line, Aaron Rodgers finds wide receiver Xavier Gibson to take the lead 13-7. Yeah, not a fan of that guy. Move on to the start of the second half. The Jets are punted to the Patriots when Marcus Jones, a Swiss Army knife for the Pats, I call him, returned this punt 62 yards, setting up the Patriots nice for this upcoming drive. Guy can do everything for the Pats. Offense, defense, returning, you name it. Same drive, Ramondre Stevenson rumbles and gets picked up for a 3-yard touchdown to put the Patriots up. You look at this right here, throwing one guy over, he's picking him up, but he's already in the end zone. Fast forward to the fourth quarter where the Pats were down 22-17, and Jacoby Brissett fires a absolute dart to Kayshon Boutte for 34 yards. Need to find this kid more, in my opinion, but then from the 1-yard line, same drive, Ramondre Stevenson right behind City Sal for the 1-yard touchdown to put the Patriots up. Everybody celebrating and happy. Robert Kraft and his son, and even head coach Gerard Mayo, he called the guys soft last week. After a successful 2-point conversion, the Patriots led by 3. Now Aaron Rodgers trying to get his guys in position to get a game-tying field goal, but no timeouts, no time on the clock. Patriots win against the Jets, baby.
I mean, I'm glad they won, but I'm not glad they won at what cost. You know what I mean? Again, Drake May hurt, right?
No, you're right.
Right. So, I mean, again, concussions, you see what Tua's going through.
Right.
Young guy gets
Very
concussed.
Good point.
He gets concussed very easily,
yes,
right?
Sir.
So now Drake May has got one that we know of, you know what I mean, in the pros. And again, they won. That's great, but we're 2-6. We're not making the playoffs.
No, right. Well, I mean, we're seeing how that division is. You never know, bro. It could
we're
be a
not.
surprise.
I mean, if a team's 4 games ahead in the playoffs and we are going back to Jacoby, at any. I mean, I'm glad we won the game, but I'm also it's like we lost though. It's like how you look at it because again, we want the highest draft pick we can get, and even if you get the 1 pick. You could always trade back. We have our quarterback,
right,
and build draft capital and get what we need moving forward.
Well, and I somewhat agree with you on that in the terms of I get it, man. Like we won, but to what cost? Drake May got hurt. We want to get a high draft pick. But I'm being honest with you, man. I just hate the Jets.
Oh, I don't like. I want to beat the Jets every time.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So
I'm glad they just got Adams and like they still look like Dookie. So it's like I'm glad we beat them.
Oh, dude, Gonzo shut him down. 0 catches, bro.
It was awesome. So
let's get into the Patriots offense versus Jets this past week, Frankie. And like we talked about, Drake May, he was only 3 for 6, 23 yards, but he did have 46 yards rushing on 3 carries, 17-yard touchdown run. So Jacoby Brissett came back in. He was 15 for 24, 132 yards, no turnovers. Ramondre Stevenson, man, he got the gears turning again. 20 carries, 48 yards, only 48 yards for 2 touchdowns. And then the guy we talk about a lot, Frankie, Kayshon Boutte, he's starting to get some more looks, and he actually set us up for the game-winning touchdown.
I thought he got in. His knee was just down. I was mad. I put him in one of my FanDuels.
3 receptions for 46 yards.
I wanted that touchdown. I wanted that tutty.
And then Hunter Henry, man, he's been reliable for Drake May and Jacoby Brissett. 5 receptions for 45 yards. And now the defense, we actually have some numbers considering last week was an absolute garbage can. So the Patriots defense, Christian Ellis, linebacker, 9 total tackles, 1 sack, 1 pass defense. So he's stepping up for all the injuries we've been having. Marcus Jones, 6 total tackles, and he actually had a 62-yard punt return like we just saw in the highlights.
Yep.
And then Christian Gonzalez, who I was just talking about, man, he held Devontae Adams catchless, man. And I mean, him doing that, Devontae Adams is a good receiver.
The defense played great. This is what we thought they'd be all year, honestly.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
They had some really bad games, like 3 or 4 in a row there, but they looked good.
Let's bring up the Jets stats real quick versus the Patriots. Aaron Rodgers, 17 for 28, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall, like I was talking about, 16 carries, 80 yards. Didn't do much in the receiving game. Garrett Wilson, 5 catches for 113, and then Devontae Adams, man, 4 receptions for only 54 yards, still has yet to catch a touchdown with the Jets. Let's talk about the notes from this past week. The Patriots had 247 total yards, 136 passing, and actually they went over 100 with the rushing yards, 111.
Yep.
They allowed 336 total yards versus the Jets. I mean, you kind of expected that. They only averaged 3.9 yards per play. I mean, we've, been slow moving the ball. But Frankie, the offensive line held up. I mean, considering last time we played the Jets, Will McDonald himself had 3 sacks. We had 2 sacks allowed the whole game.
Oh, yeah. No, that was great.
So, Frankie, you want to hear something interesting about this game, though? And I saw this online. The Jets' 25-22 loss ended a 750-game NFL win streak.
Oh, really?
Dude, do you want to hear this?
Let's hear this.
So, Frankie, you wonder, how is that and in what terms? Well, over the course of NFL history, teams that had done these 3 things were 750-0, and that was scored more than 20 points, no turnovers, and they held their opponents to under 250. Like I said, Patriots only had 247.
247, yeah.
So, wow. I mean, it kind of makes it more embarrassing when you put it into those terms, bro.
That's wild. I didn't know that.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a cool stat.
So I had to bring that up.
That's awesome.
But let's talk about the upcoming Week 9 breakdown at the Tennessee Titans, Frankie, a team that might be worse than us.
I mean, yeah, they very well could be.
You know what I mean?
Mason Rudolph looked pretty good this week, even though they got murdered by.
They did. They got
Detroit killed them.
So, like you said, Titans just lost to the Lions 52-14 in Week 8, and they are 1-6 on the season. So, yeah, they do have a worse record than us. And here are their stats against the Lions. Like you said, Mason Rudolph, 22 for 38, 266, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Tony Pollard, 20 carries for 94 yards, not bad.
Yeah,
Calvin Ridley, a guy who was complaining the week before he wasn't getting looks. The guy had over 100 yards in the first quarter, bro.
Yeah, he went crazy.
10 catches for 143 yards, so I guess they listened to him.
Yep.
Nick Westbrook-Akina, the last 2 weeks, he's been looking like a red zone threat. He's got a touchdown this week, and he had one last week.
He looked good, actually, yeah.
He did. And then on defense, we like to bring up some guys that they had there, which we've always talked about. We thought the Titans' defense was going to be better, but Arden Key, the guy had 2 sacks, so maybe that's a guy they're going to have to look out for next week, Frankie.
Yeah.
Real quick, Titans notes from Week 8. Titans had 416 total yards of offense versus the Lions. Now, it's pretty crazy considering the score, but listen to this. They held the Lions to only 225 yards. Doesn't it seem kind of weird with that score?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's because, Goff didn't have any passing yards. It was all rushing yards.
Well, that's the thing, but this is where it makes up for the difference. The Titans allowed 262 total special teams yards.
Yeah.
Bro.
Khalif Raymond ran one back. They put him in great field position every single punt, every single kickoff.
So, you just said it, Khalif Raymond. The guy had 190 on punt returns alone,
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
He had a 64-yarder. Mind you, and he, like Frankie just said, he also took one to the house for 90 yards, bro. Khalil Dorsey also had a 72-yard kick return, bro.
It's just wild.
So if we have to get into the predictions here, like me and Frankie do every week with the Patriots, who they're playing, Frankie, I'm up and down with them, but I'm not going to lie. I actually may take the Patriots this week against the Titans.
It's going to be, again, it's kind of a coin flip for me, too. I don't know. When we talk about it and lob around, we'll talk about it then, I guess.
Oh, so you're not taking a prediction right now?
I'm gonna take the Titans.
Alrighty, I like it. That's interesting. So you heard it here. I'm taking the Pats. Frankie's taking the Titans.
Yeah, that's our first difference. I want them to win every game, but not when they can't make the playoffs and stuff. I want that first pick.
Hey, man. I mean,
I want the first overall pick.
We've seen them play bad against bad teams considering Jacksonville, so you never know how they could play against Tennessee.
Tennessee's defense is pretty good. If it wasn't for that special teams like you were just talking about, Detroit's offense is phenomenal. Yeah. I know they put up a 50 squad against them, but they only had 200 and something yards. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying, bro. If you look at the score here, 52-14, the Titans had 416 total yards and the Lions had 225, but it all came down to special teams,
sense.
Bro.
I know.
That special teams coordinator's fired.
That's wild. That's all we got for the Foxborough Focus. Why don't we jump right into Wicked Smart Fantasy Stats?
Wicked Smart Fantasy Stats, baby. And it was a good week for your boy Keith. I won in both my leagues, but you know what? We're going to start with mine. So in my league, like I just said, I won. I beat my cousin Justin 183.16 to 147.06. I just straight murdered him, bringing my record to 5-3. I sit at third place. Now I'm going to bring up my studs. Now, the past weeks, you guys see me putting Jaden Daniels up there and everything. Actually, I benched Jaden Daniels this week because I wasn't sure how he was going to play with that rib injury. So your boy started Bo Nix.
35.76
points, 4 total touchdowns. Another stud here. Justin Jefferson. Every week he's getting me double-digit points. Only 115 yards, no tutties, but 19.5 points. Ramondre Stevenson, like I talked about in Foxborough Focus, he had 23.5. 2 touchdowns. He actually had a 2-point conversion, too. Terry McLaurin, 17.5. He had 125 yards. And Frankie, the first catch he had was 61 yards.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then Jake Elliott, the kicker for the Eagles, he actually got me 15 points.
That's a lot. That's good for a kicker.
Right. And then, Frankie, through both my leagues, I had 2 total duds. And in my league, it was Pop Douglas, only 3.2, 12 receiving yards.
Yeah, that's tough.
How'd you do in my league, Frankie?
You already know I won again,
yes,
even
sir.
though I'm so injured. I'm injured every week.
Thank God I didn't play you because you would have been the only person I would have lost to.
He had the second most points. I had the first most again in your league. So I think that's the 4th time.
Bro, with all your injuries, it's crazy.
It's unbelievable. I gotta
give it to you, though.
Thank you, man. I mean, Jalen Hurts, 39 points, 3 rushing touchdowns. The dude went crazy.
Yep.
Cedric Tillman, I started, just picked him up.
That,
I had to. I lost all everybody.
Dude,
Godwin's gone.
Great start there.
Started him 29 points.
I wasn't trying to pick him up, put a waiver claim. I
just did it. I was like, whatever. Kamara had 18. Njoku had 17. James Cook back to himself, 28 points. Couple duds. My kicker only got 4 again. Evan McPherson. Every year, everyone thinks he's going to be good, and I have him, and he's terrible.
Up and down.
Denver's defense, I thought, would be better against Carolina. They only gave up 14 points, but somehow they only got 7 fantasy points. I don't know how that worked out.
Not bad.
Yep.
But Frankie, let's move over to your league where your boy, let's face it, man, I was winless. But this week, I won, and we called it the Keith Bowl because I was playing against our boy Sly over there. Like he said, the 2
I was
Keiths.
getting texts from both of them all day. Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, no.
So, yep, your boy won. 207.34.
Yeah, you put up a number.
Dude, 207.34 to 194.
You had the most
My
points
record's at 1-7, but I couldn't believe the numbers he was putting up too, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Had a lot of studs here, and we'll start with Captain Kirk Cousins. 30.64, 4 touchdowns. Like I said, I benched Anthony Richardson. I think I might be done with him. MHJ starting to come back to life. 24.1 points. He had 6 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown. My boy Darnell Mooney, he had 92 yards and a touchdown. Like Frankie said, James Cook coming back to life. 29.3, 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift now. This is 4 straight weeks, man. The all-purpose yards are killing it. 21.9, and he had 1 touchdown with 129 rush yards. And then talk about the Steelers defense from last night, man. They got me 20 points, man. 4 sacks, a pick, and they had a punt return touchdown. And like I told you, I only had 2 duds between both leagues. And my dud in this league was Michael Pittman Jr., only 2.6 points.
That's crazy. That's good.
But yeah, Frankie, let's hear what you did in your league.
I lost again in my league. I feel like this team's better than my team in your league, but I keep losing. I mean, this week I started Jordan Love. I'm going to go right to the dud. So I sat Jaden Daniels. He was questionable, rib injury. He got hurt the week prior for me, got 6 points. Of course, Jordan Love on my bench last week. If I started him last week, I would have won last week. If I started Jaden Daniels this week, I would have won this week. Of course, Jordan Love gets hurt this week against
Jaden
the worst.
Daniels, right.
Yeah, they're playing Jacksonville is one of the first or second worst team. You know, they give the most points.
31st in pass defense.
Yeah, again, so I was like, I'm going to start Jordan Love. Why not? And, of course, Jordan Love gets hurt with 6 points. I lose. If I started Jaden Daniels, I would have won. So,
what do you get, like 26, 27
Daniels? Yeah, exactly. So he had 26 on my bench. I lost by 19. That's a 20-point difference right there. I would have won by 1. Cup had 16. And McLaurin, we talked about 20 points almost. Bijan Robinson, which we just made a trade.
So, I mean, I got my first one. I was happy with that.
I know, I'm happy for you.
Let's move over to the starts of the week for week 9, Frankie. And then I'm going to start with your quarterback that you had in fantasy. I'm going to say start quarterback Jalen Hurts versus the Jaguars, like we were just talking about. 31st ranked pass defense. And Hurts has 5 pass touchdowns, 0 interceptions the last 4 weeks. Mind you, 3 rushing touchdowns Sunday, like Frankie was talking about. Yeah. And the Jags have allowed nearly 1,100 passing yards and 8 touchdowns the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's first or second in the price on FanDuel. He's very expensive this week, and he should be anyway. He's putting up points every week. So.
Like I said, man, he's going to be the start of the week for quarterbacks, in my opinion. And then number 2, start running back Kyren Williams at the Seahawks. Seahawks have the 29th ranked rush defense, and my boy Kyren Williams, man, he's on a 10-game touchdown streak. He keeps it going, man.
Yep.
Not one single-digit fantasy performance this year, and mind you, he's had 15-plus points in 6 or 7 games. 14, only hit 14 points in the other one.
Yeah. Yep, he's been great.
Yep. And then number 3, start my boy, wide receiver Justin Jefferson versus the Colts. Frankie, the Colts have the 30th ranked pass defense. Jefferson hasn't had under 80 yards since week 1. And the Colts let up 212 yards to wide receivers alone last week versus Houston.
Yep.
Number 4, start another one of my receivers in fantasy, wide receiver Xavier Worthy, who actually recently acquired in a trade, versus the Bucks. The Bucks have the 29th ranked pass defense. Not a ton of speed in that Bucks secondary that can really keep up with Worthy. We've talked about it. They may have experience, but when it comes to flatline speed, you can't keep up with this guy.
Oh, he's fast.
Oh, yeah. The Bucks have allowed opposing teams' wide receivers to go over 80 yards 3 out of the last 4 games. And also, the Bucks have the 20th ranked rush defense. And what's Worthy's other upside? He can run the ball in those end arounds.
Gets him, yep.
And then at number 5, start tight end Brock Bowers at the Bengals. Now, the Bengals have the 22nd ranked pass defense, and I'm not going to base it off of last week. I mean, bro, tight end, what was it, tight end day? There was 177 receptions by tight ends alone on Sunday, bro.
I saw something where a guy this was on like Action Network, I think, reported this. He put it on he had a FanDuel parlay, anytime touchdown parlay. He only took tight ends. It was 10 legs, I think, 10 tight ends to score touchdowns. He put $10 on it and he hit it. It was for $160-something thousand or $185,000. It was unbelievable.
But back to what I was saying about Brock Bowers. Nearly 500 yards allowed to tight ends this season against the Cincinnati defense. And Bowers has had at least 10 fantasy points in his last 4 games, over 15 in 3 of the last 4.
He's been an animal. That was a great draft pick by you.
Without Devontae Adams there, and I know Jacoby Myers been a little banged up, you know, he's had over 41 targets combined over the last 4 games as well.
He's been unbelievable.
Yes, sir. So, Frankie, get into your FanDuel, man. I want to hear this.
FanDuel, again, these are discounted guys that I like to throw in with some of the bigger guys. Matt Stafford at Seattle. We were just talking about Seattle. He's only 7,600. Just got Puka back and Cooper Kupp. He threw 4 touchdowns this past week. One to your boy Kyron. We just talked about that.
That's right, man.
DeAndre Swift, they still won't bring him up. I don't know why he's so low. He's 7,200. That's nothing.
The all-purpose yards,
9,400 is like Derrick Henry. Like, this guy's been, he was over 125 again this week.
2 bad games.
I'm saying he's been great ever since the first 2 games. After that, he's been great.
Yes.
So 7,200 at Arizona. They're bottom 5 in the league against running backs. So
I like that.
I'm putting him in at 7,200.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what and this is before, I put this in before they benched Anthony Richardson. I said Michael Pittman. Now that Joe Flacco's back in, why the hell not, right?
He had better numbers with Flacco.
I'm saying he's been way better with Flacco. He's only 5,800, right? So he's due for a game. It doesn't even matter who's there.
Absolutely.
But they're playing against what you said,
that.
Minnesota, right?
Yep.
Gave up the most points against fantasy wideouts.
Yes, they did.
So
especially
why
last
not?
week. I mean, look what the Rams did to him last week.
I love it. You know who I have in tight end is kind of a funny one that everyone, like, you know, once in a while you pick him up and start him in fantasy. Taysom Hill, the gadget player, the gadget guy. So this past week, he had 4 targets, 20-something yards. He also had 20 yards rushing. He occasionally throws the ball. You know, Derek Carr's banged up. He might not play again.
You know
so
what?
it's like,
I like that, actually.
So I'm throwing Taysom Hill in there. He's only, what I put in here for him? He's only 5,900. I said, why don't we try him this week?
Dude, I like
try
that.
something different.
Frankie, I like that.
Yeah, and then we got defense this week. We got Washington Commanders at the Giants. The Giants can't do nothing,
right? Oh, my God. They're so bad.
Washington only gave up like 18 points rather to Chicago. And Chicago's offense is way better.
And put into this perspective, too, the Giants' offensive line has allowed 12 sacks the last 2 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. So for 3,900, I was like, Washington seems like a pretty good play.
No,
so
absolutely.
This is my lineup. We kind of talked about it already. But these are some of the guys you fill in here.
So we got Stafford, like you say, been balling with his receivers back. DeAndre Swift and A-Chain, that's a good duo right there. And Pittman
A-Chain was great last week.
Pittman's due for a game, like you said. And Nakua, he had his game last week.
Nakua's back healthy. He looked great.
And then Taysom Hill, the gadget player, man. I like that.
Then you got Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones due for a game.
Aaron
7,500
Jones
also.
in the flex with the Commanders defense, man. That's a
Let's
good one.
do
Right?
it.
Win some money this week, Frankie.
We got it. Why don't we jump right into the lava round?
And here we are, the lava round, man. Let's go back to the Week 8 predictions. Bro, I had a 12-4 record last week, you know, bringing my overall record to 78-45. Frankie, you got one game on me. You picked the 49ers. I picked the Cowboys. Yes, sir. You're 13-3 last week, bringing your overall record to 79-44.
Both great records, by the way.
Dude, yes, sir. The Week 9 predictions, Frankie. You call them, we'll predict them.
We already got one different. We already talked about that, but we'll jump right into it. Texans at the Jets. We're both
you know
taking
I'm taking
Texans.
the Texans here all day,
Even though they're
bro.
banged up, I'm still taking the Texans.
I mean, I hate to say it, man, but the Jets just lost to the Patriots, and the Patriots are pretty bad. So
I'm saying, yeah, the Texans. I'm still taking the Texans, even though
right.
If Nico's out, and they obviously lost Diggs, if Nico's out, it's going to be a tougher game for them.
I mean, yeah, they're going to be able to easily shut down Tank Dell if he's the primary receiver.
Yeah, I mean, but Mixon's the guy, so I mean, you'll see Mixon go crazy this week. Saints at Panthers.
Oh, I'm taking the Panthers all day. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm taking the Saints.
I'm going to take the Saints, even though the Saints are banged up too. Commanders at Giants.
You already know I'm taking the
Commanders,
Commanders, bro.
Dolphins at Bills. We're taking the Bills, I'm sure.
Man,
right?
these first few have been easy.
Easy. This one's not that easy. Chargers at Browns.
I'm going to be honest with you, though. I mean, Jameis Winston looked pretty good last week, but I don't see him doing that 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to say the Chargers here.
Oh man, you gotta make me choose, huh? I'm gonna go the Browns because it's at home, and I don't know. Jameis seems to have them fired up. They just beat, in my opinion, one of the best teams in the NFL, the Ravens. Jameis looked great. Pats at Tennessee. I took Tennessee. You took the Pats. Cowboys at the Falcons. That's a tough game too.
I'm taking the Falcons here. I think the skid continues for Dallas.
Yeah, normally I would have. I don't know. I don't know. We got to take the Falcons too. The Cowboys just too in disarray at this point.
Yeah, man, it's
I think they're gonna get Micah back this week, but that's not gonna make the difference. They're just so bad this year.
Yeah.
Raiders at Bengals. We're gonna take the Bengals.
Yes, sir. Taking the Bengals here for sure.
Broncos at Ravens should be a real good game too.
Oh, yeah, dude. You know I'm taking the Ravens here,
Me too.
man.
Me too.
Denver's got a good defense,
Denver's
I will
defense
say.
is stacked. Bo Nix has looked great. He just got you 4 total touchdowns this week.
But I'm going to tell you right now, dude, with the Ravens just getting Deontay Johnson, if he plays this week, that's just another weapon in that offense, bro.
Ravens should come back with a vengeance after that bad loss to the Browns.
Oh, yeah.
Bears at Cardinals. That's an interesting game.
So I think the Bears are just really still pissed off about that Hail Mary, bro. So I'm going to be taking them against the Cardinals in Arizona this week.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bears, too, even though the Cardinals have been playing pretty good. They just can't get over the hump, I feel like, every week. Something. Jags at Eagles. We're both taking the Eagles, I would have to assume.
Taking the Eagles. That's without question.
This is an interesting game, a fun game to watch. Rams at Seahawks.
So I almost did a cross-off here, but I kind of had to dissect this one a little bit. I'm going to be taking the Rams here simply for the fact that they're healthy. Kyron's on a touchdown streak. Cooper and Puka were killing it last week. And Matthew Stafford, he's been slinging it pretty good.
I'm taking the Rams, too. They just beat Minnesota, one of the best teams in the NFL.
Yep.
And like you said, they're healthy. So that's really – and Seattle looks – again, they look all up and down, too. So I'm going Rams here, too.
Yep.
That'll be a fun game to watch. Lions at Packers, another interesting game.
Well, I mean, with Jordan Love getting a little banged up, they haven't announced if he's not playing yet this week, but I'm going to be taking the Lions in this one without question.
Lions, in my opinion, are right there. They're right there. They're the team to beat in the NFC right now.
The only thing that's really happened to the Lions is they just had their boy J-Mo Williams, man. He's serving a 2-game suspension for performance-enhancing substances.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, again, once they get him back, they'll be even better. But I'm taking the Lions either way.
Right.
Colts at Vikings. I'm sure you're going Vikings.
I'm going
Vikings.
Vikings all day, man.
And then the Bucs at the Chiefs.
As much as I hate this, man, I'm going to be taking the Chiefs here. It's at home in Arrowhead, and, they just got D-Hop. I mean, Pat Mahomes hasn't looked the best, but I still am taking the Chiefs here.
Yeah, that's automatic. The Bucs are so banged up now.
That's right, brother. So we'll see what happens. Good luck to you.
You too. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and it's been a great week. Yeah.
Have another guest.
Another guest.
Are you expecting somebody?
No, I mean, let him in. What's your name, little guy?
Hi, I'm Chucky.
Come on, man. I know you don't sound like that.
My friends call me Chucky.
Don't with the Chuck.
Whoa, hey, man. I'm not trying to do any of that. We cool?
Chucky's gonna be a bro.
Wait, hold up, man. You can't be a bro. We really don't know you like that.
Frankie, again, why is homeboy here? There's got to be a reason, like we've been seeing every week with these promos.
Oh, you know what this is? It's the new documentary about Chucky. What's it called? Doc of Chucky.
Yeah, Doc of Chucky. I heard about that, actually.
It comes out this week. Really kind of cool. It's going to have a lot of different clips and a lot of the actresses and actors and how it all went into motion. It's obviously Child's Play's been a great movie series over the years, so I think that's going to get a lot of play. Yeah, but sorry, Chucky, you really can't be a bro.
Why not?
You're just a doll, man.
Hey, yo, Frankie's a doll. He wants to be a bro and everything.
Can't be a bro.
Come on, man.
Come on, brother.
Whoa, hey, Frankie, come on, let's get out of here, man.
From Bean Town to your town, stay wicked, Pissah.
From the TD Garden to your garden, thanks for listening. Oh, my God.